I tried playing one day and
I had like COVID brain fog for a while. So we made it to the wedding. Did I ever find my dragon? I'm good. Oh.
Howdy.
Hey.
Been addicted to Baldur's Gate.
I found the cure for that. COVID knocked it out of me.
I think I'm about 70 hours in at the moment.
Is Nico joining us? Good morning, everyone.
Good morning. I haven't seen him light up at all today on Discord. You guys hear me?
Yep.
Better reset up my mic.
Sirenscape seems to work.
Headset working? It's boot time. I'm supposed to savor those. It's only been a few days. It has, hasn't it?
You guys hear me now?
That's okay.
Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Okay, good.
I heard you last time.
All my speakers were changed.
Yeah. All right. What's up? It's what was it? 8:36 on the 13th of August. We're like halfway through this month already. It's insane. We are playing session 61 of Odyssey of the Dragonlords. Somehow titled "It's a Nice Day for a Wedding." Yeah, interesting. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We will do a recap for our little hangover session last week, and then we'll get into it. Arcadia.
The question is, will it be a white wedding? Anyway, so I am sharing in Gorgio's Pain, streaming live from Fort Worth, Texas. We start the session the afternoon of our Monday, our 57th day together. There's 40 days remaining of the Oath of Peace. We go to the amphitheater where Kyra told us to meet her, and a group of men come up to us shouting, "There you are, you're just in time. You remembered, come in here." And we see Kyra drowsily sitting at a table with a pair of sunglasses on. And she says, "About time you showed up. These men were about shitting themselves, and there's no way in hell I was doing this by myself." And we find out that we have agreed to be judges for a talent show. So Demetrius is game, and a child comes out onto the stage, thanks the great heroes and newcomer for coming, and of course in Demetrius fashion, he says, "Less ass kissing, more performing." And the kid plays the bagpipes horribly, and he claps his hands to interrupt her. "Sorry, kid, but find some other talent to pursue. This ain't it. Next!" Arcadia is just standing there. She has no idea what is going on, and that's when Kyra says, "Oh, you and Gravik went to the Academy of Mitros, saying you would help get one of these kids in." And Arcadia says, "This new man and I went to the Academy of Mitros together?" She says, "That's what you told these people, these parents, and that you would help them get into the academy," which is basically the Juilliard of Thylia. So Demetrius says, "Well, let's quickly judge the others as well, get this over with." And a kid comes out and has a card trick and is terrible at it, and asks Demetrius to pick one. He says, "No." "Is this one?" "No." "Is this one?" "No, that's not my card either." "I'm sorry, get off the stage." But then Gravik intervenes and decides to show the kid how to do the card trick, and pretty much spends the next 20 minutes with the ending of demonstrating to the kids how to do the card trick. And at the end, the kid trolls him, and he's picking the right card, but the kid keeps on saying no. And at this point, the kid winks at or smiles at Demetrius, but Demetrius is completely out of patience. And he says, when Gravik says, he gives the card deck back to the kid because he doesn't know why his card trick isn't working. And he says, "I think your deck is broken." And Demetrius says, "I think you're broken. We need to hurry up, and you're spending 20 fucking minutes teaching some kid cards. Get over it. Get out of here." And so while all this is going on, Arcadia is asking Kyra where her weapons are, and but Kyra has passed out. And she says she doesn't remember much. She wakes her up and she says, she woke up here in the amphitheater after we snuck into some rich bitch's house, and she knows Honora was with us because she kept on saying how stuck up and annoying Aristodemus was. And Aristodemus was the rich noble merchant that we had stolen everything from, and Nico is probably wearing his clothes. The next kid comes out and sings a song, and she's not bad. And Arcadia just quickly says, "Okay, you win. And we pretty much get the hell out of there. Kyra remembers that we went to the palace because Corbin apparently really, really wanted to have a drink. On the way, Arcadia is really angry because she doesn't remember drinking, and she does have a slight headache, and she gets the sense that she was drinking, but from what she remembers, she didn't. But on the way to the palace, we stop off at the Dragon's Tooth, and when we enter, the bartender and many of the patrons start clapping. "Welcome back, one another." Demetrius declines but quietly asks what happened, and apparently we came in several times throughout the night with different numbers of people. And the first place we went after our first visit was a late-night bar in the shadier part of town. And the last time they saw us visit, we were here arguing with a dwarf friend, and we kept on calling him our lucky charm. And we remember that was Babacles, the naked dwarf in the box. But by this time, when we left, Kyra wasn't with us, and we had lost some of our people. The last time they saw us with our weapons was during our second or third stop, and we had apparently won a big poker game. So we head to the palace. One way is blocked because someone was painting graffiti and defecated on the stairs, and there are people cleaning it up. So we take another route, and we pass by the dragon shrine, where the head priest there, Aesop, is scrubbing a crudely painted picture of a horse off of it. Arcadia notices that the red paint of the picture matches the red paint that is all over Ametreus, who says, well, what can I say? I've always fancied myself a bit of an artist. And he told us he saw us all at the Seedier pub in town, had a drink with us, and got tired. When we went off, no, actually, he saw us at the Dragon's Tooth, had a drink. We went off to the other bar. No weapons were allowed, so we asked him to take all of our weapons for us, and he brought them all back to the shrine for safekeeping. He did see Arcadia drinking. It wasn't water. And Ametreus, Arcadia says, I wasn't drinking water. And Aesop says, not at that point. And Ametreus says, don't tell me this is your first time getting drunk, Arcadia. And he sees something go across her face, like she recognizes something, and then it makes her really sad. Gravik helps clean up the graffiti with a prestidigitation. And Aesop says, you're Gravik, aren't you? And he says, oh, so you've heard of me. He says, I hear things that you've been kind of skulking around town, asking people things and getting in good with the party here. Last night you kept spouting on about coming from some strange land, that you're chosen by something, some Baha something. And Gravik says, well, that does sound like me. I don't really appreciate the skulking part, but I prefer socializing. Sounds so much better. Did you agree? We go and retrieve our weapons, but Corbin's bag of holding and vengeance are not there, and neither is Nyx. So we head to the palace. They seem very tired and short on patience, and the head servant tells us he's worried about Princess Honora and asks if we have seen her. He tells us we brought a large number of civilians to our rooms last night who stayed for a while demanding wine, ale, and cheesy potatoes. Demetrius asks if we left anything in the palace, and the servant says they haven't been inside yet because they keep hearing some animalistic noises. And Gravik says, is that really the best idea to go in if we're hearing sounds like that? And Demetrius says, I'm pretty sure that's our dragon. Your dragon? Our dragon, yes. You have a dragon? We go into the palace and head towards the noise, and Arcadia hears slight growling and what sounds like a person groaning. She enters. The room is completely trashed. There's pillows and bedding all over the floor with empty bottles and pans of cheesy potatoes. Pythor is full Monty spread out on the ground, snoring and making the groaning noises. Further down the hall, behind a closed door, we hear some growling. Amicia says that can only be a good sign. Arcadia readies her crossbow. Gravik says, should we help the king? Arcadia just looks at him and says, no, and walks past towards the growl. He says, does she have a problem with the... She seems to have a problem with a lot of things. Demetria says that would actually be her dad. She's a princess? Correct. She doesn't dress like one. Are you trying to get your ass kicked? Not particularly. I do tend to open my mouth quite often, but I mean, usually you don't see princess warriors. Do you know what Pythor is? Something about a god king? Yes, he's one of the 5 gods. As he points down at Pythor, who is just lying there, covered with food, being overweight and snoring and looking greasy. That is the god of battle. He tells Gravik thinks that we need to increase the quality of our gods. And he says there's a bunch of other gods you could worship, like Bahamut. Who the hell is Bahamut? I'll explain it to you later. You probably wouldn't like him, but either way, you gotta hold your gods to a higher standard. They both go up to catch up to Arcadia. Gravik recognizes the growling as that coming from a big cat. And he says, oh, you shouldn't open that door. Demetrius, why not? Because there's probably a very angry feline in there. Don't be silly. That's a dragon. I've traveled with a dragon. I know what a dragon sounds like. And he opens the door, and a tiger pounces on him and starts licking his face. Demetrius, Gravik asks, what kind of dragon is that? Oh, shut up. And Arcadia says, I think this is Phoebe's cat, the wild cat we goaded out of the estate. It paws and meows at Demetrius, who feeds it some rations, and then after it eats, it lies down, exposing its belly and lets out a little chirp. Demetrius crouches down and rubs its belly. Arcadia starts to say something, but it's too late. Trap belly. He grabs onto Demetrius with all four paws and starts to bite his arm a little bit. Demetrius smiles and tears forms in his eyes as he ignores the pain, as he is bleeding pretty heavily. Gravik looks at Arcadia. He's the type that leaps before he looks, isn't he? She just nods at him, and he nods along with her and turns to watch the maiming of Demetrius. The room is obviously a female's room, and Gravik notices a statue of Nicodemus in the corner with a note pinned to it, which reads in a very, very feminine handwriting, barely legible, Gun Temple, don't wait up. We hear Pythor in the background say, Perseus, leave me alone. And we find out that that cat's name is Perseus. They are fighting over a platter of cheesy potatoes, and Gravik and Demetrius decide to take bets on who will win. Demetrius says, you men and your gambling, as she recalls Demetrius and Corbin gambling on their fight when they first met. And the cat wins. Demetrius gives Gravik 100 gold. And as soon as the cat wins the cheesy potatoes, but Arcadia lures it away. And as soon as the cat gets up, Pythor rushes over and starts to eat them. Demetrius is like, oh, god damn. Gravik whispers under his breath, you're king, ladies and gentlemen. And Pythor says, yes, that's me. I'm the king. What do you want? Gravik is like, you heard that? I hear everything. Gravik paled a bit and quickly follows the other. Arcadia's rhino is still where she left it, and after we leave the palace, we see a group of guards approaching us. In front of the guards is a short ginger dwarf with very fancy clothes. It is Aristodemus, and he accuses us of stealing things, including his cat, and doesn't know what we did with his wife. And if you remember, Nico had a dalliance with her. He says he has friends in very high places, and he calls for Perseus, but Demetrius wants to keep Perseus himself. Arcadia, Gravik says, do we really want to be making enemies right now, as they start fighting over the cat? And Demetrius says, yes, I've got so many enemies. And Arcadia says, that won't happen. Arcadia says, no, because we've already ruined our chances of buying anything in Mitros, so let's not antagonize any more people. And Demetrius says, that won't happen in this city because Pythor is your dad and you're the princess here. He'll take full responsibility. And Arcadia says, well, if we get into a battle, Arcadia, if we get into a battle with him, she's not going to fight it. And Gravik says it's probably not a good idea to use birthrights in such a way, meaning using Arcadia's status as a princess to get away with things. And Demetrius says, what are you talking about? And Gravik says, you can't, Princess Arcadia? And Arcadia says, don't call me that, and I am not claiming any birthright. We head to the Temple of the Five, and on the way, Gravik says, so, 5 gods. So one's a drunkard and another one's a pickle. Do I want to ask what the other 3 are? And we explain about Kyra being a goddess of trickery and music and goddess of wisdom, Kyra's sister Valak. And he says, and well, there's a goddess of wisdom, which is Kyra's sister Valis, who is married to the king of Mitros, who is a complete asshole that hates me. And Arcadia says, gee, I wonder why. And Demetrius says, listen, I didn't steal a Castus's tiger, okay? And Gravik gives Arcadia a knowing look and then a slight nod like, yeah. But she just looks at him because she is not going to make any effort to be buddy-buddy with Gravik. Demetrius says, yeah, you're going to have to get used to that. She's like that with everyone. Give it a few months and she'll warm up to you. And Gravik says, a few months? I might die of frostbite by then. And Demetrius says, probably. You'll have died many times by then. Trust me. So on the way to the temple, we go to the seedy bar. A person outside is sweeping up broken glass and a large pile of broken furniture, and he asks us to leave before we cause any more damage. The dragon isn't there, and we find out that Kyra and Corbin started playing their instruments, and then Gravik started playing along. Then everyone started singing, and Arcadia wouldn't stop singing and challenged everybody to a karaoke contest where she won every single one because she declared her victor each time. Herself the victor. Demetria says, I knew you'd find your voice one day, Arcadia. And when they tried to get her to leave, she climbed onto the roof and started singing even louder. And when the bartender tried to pull out a broom to knock her down, she kept saying, go Chakram, and threw a plate at his head. At which point, Demetrius asked, did she at any point lift her top? Ew. And he just wanted to add on to her embarrassment, no, she did not. And Gravik says, so if I'm understanding this correct, she never acted like this before. Apparently my music has moved her. And Demetrius says, did you cast some magic on her? And he says, I remember about as much as you do. I don't have those kinds of spells, unfortunately. And Arcadia looks at him as she has her hand on the hilt of her dagger and says, and it's a good thing you don't either. Gravik gives the 100 gold he just won from Demetrius to the bartender to make up for things, even though Demetrius is very upset about that. And the bartender says, what's your name again? I'm Gravik Thorn. Gravik Thorn. Thank you so much. Well, you're the one who kept saying something about all the gods here are wrong, and the only true god is Bahamut. I'd appreciate it if you didn't say or spread that around too much. I fear I'd get in a lot of trouble with the locals if they heard me saying such things. And you can bet on that, friend. And you asked, I don't know. And something he says to Demetrius in Sylvan. And then he says, we find out that the bartender says, oh, you said that this Baham was some massive, good, big old dragon. And Gravik says, he's a platinum dragon. Yes, but I'm not here to convert anyone. We should probably move on. And Arcadia says, interesting, so you worship a dragon? And Gravik says, I don't really worship anyone. I was raised under the teachings of Bahamut, but I wouldn't say I worship him. But he is a dragon, yes. A lot of dragons worship him. And as we are now outside of the tavern and are walking, Demetrius says, more fucking dragons pretending to be gods. And Gravik says, wait, what? And Demetrius says, that seems like it happens commonly. We went to an island and we saw a copper dragon that was doing something like that. Gravik insight checks, 24 versus 6, and knows Demetrius is hiding something and is full of shit. Then he further intelligence checks to see if he can put 2 and 2 together. He gets a nat 20. He slowly stops. I think your gods here are dragons. Demetrius rushes towards him, puts his hand over his mouth, and looks around. I have no idea what you're talking about. Don't say anything, that'll get your tongue cut out. Yeah, how long has this been a thing? I don't know what you're talking about. Any discussion would be left for outside of city walls. And Gravik falls silent and loses himself in thought. We go to the Temple of the Five, and there is a figurine of Nico there, as they seem to be everywhere. People seem to be just collecting them. We don't know why. They were sold out at the stand overnight and then are popping up all over the place. But he's not heard about vengeance, though he knows that Corbin had him with him last night. And so was Honora. She prayed to Philea to ask for a blessing before she took over as queen. So Demetrius gets the idea that Corbin could use the crown of the Dragonlords to find vengeance, and we realize that he traded it to buy into the gambling game for Demetrius. So we need to find Aristodemus again. And we find out that sorry, I'm just gonna split all this. We find that Demetrius is very attached to the Kyger. And then a group of guards comes running up, and 2 people in their skivvies cry out, pointing at us, there they are. And we find out that they are the guards. We stole their cart, the police cart from them, and the horse. And we tell them that it is in the back of Sidon's temple. And they said, well, we can't just let you go. You can't be above the law. and maybe a little slap on the wrist or a little punishment would do. And Gravik warns them that we could just talk to the king right now and clear this up, but the guards block his way with spears. And she says, okay. He says, you do not know what you're getting yourself into. You know that, right? I tried to warn you. And then it looks like it's escalating, and Arcadia says, what punishment are you going to hand out? And the guy says, our guard says, have you ever heard of a switch? And Demetrius says, oh, we're going to do it that way, huh? And he begins cracking his knuckles. And Arcadia very uncharacteristically says, okay, go ahead, hit me. And just when they're about to do so, you hear someone say, it's okay, I'll handle this. And a nicely dressed and bathed Babocles makes his way through the guards and says, so, who's the bitch now? And we find out that when he went home, he made a side bet on the poker game. And when he went home to open up his bag with his winnings, it was filled with statues of Nicodemus. And he wants, they ask him if he saw vengeance, and he says, nope. Last time I saw the dragon was when you were putting me in the trunk, and the dragon was sitting there eating a biscuit. So Gravik asks if we can pay him back for being our lucky charm, and he demands 50,000 gold pieces, the money he lost. We start to fight, but to escalate towards a fight, but Babocles explains his guards have been wanting to try out new toys. They come out carrying whips, and when they speak a word, they look like they electrify. And Gravik says, Demetrius, I'm not built for torture. So we decide, he says if he brings back the money, he'll let this go. And we go back to the palace because we want to talk and ask what Pythor, because we never really did ask him what went on. When we walk past the temple, we see that Arcadia sees that her rhino isn't there. She finds out that some guards came and took it. It is currently locked up outside of some temple to the south, and it is in a shed. We go back to the temple. Pythor is asleep and passed out. Gravik actually first tries to wake him up with a pitcher of ice water as Demetrius and Arcadia hide outside. And then he casts the cantrip Zap on him, which pops him up, and he wakes up and wonders who the hell Gravik is. We find out he does not know where she is, and he says, Arcadia asks what he remembers of last night, and he says, well, I remember y'all coming back and saying, Dad, we got hookers, and went in, and we just had a big old party. It was fun. Even my other kid she was like you. She was having fun too, and it was, he's talking to Arcadia, you were so stuck up. It was nice for once to see your hair down. And Demetrius says, I don't remember Happy Arcadia, but I wish I did. Oh, Happy Arcadia is a good time. Arcadia is visibly getting angry. And so he says, I can't say his name, but I remember, so I said something how fun it would be to go, and I wish I can go and pee in somebody's place, but I can't say their name. And Demetrius, you thought it was hilarious. And we put two and two together, and it looks like he encouraged us, or not everybody, but the men who were into this, to take a piss in Sidon's temple. So we decide to go back to that. And as we leave, Gravik says, asks Pythor, have you ever heard of Bahamut? And Pythor quickly says, nope. And Gravik believes he's telling the truth, and he says, strange. And Pythor says, nope, never heard of this Tia Bahamut. And then Gravik says, but you're, and he looks at Demetrius and Arcadia and says, probably shouldn't say it. Pythor, I'm a what? And Demetrius says, you are a powerful god of battle. Let us quickly go to Sidon's temple. And Gravik says, you're an amazing and wise king, and I figured you would know him. Have a good day, your majesty. As he quickly starts to rush out, and Pythor says, I'm a what? I just said you're an amazing and wise king. I figured you would know the name Bahamut. Never heard of Bahamut. And as we exit the palace, Demetrius says, you almost just died. And Gravik says, what do you mean? They can and will kill you, so don't test them. Ah, yes, bad vibe when I started asking. Yes, forget about your stupid god. You're in a new place now with different gods. He's not really stupid, but you see, he's basically the god of dragons. So it's weird that, yeah, sure, it's always yeah, and you know who's the god above that. So they talk about the gods and how everybody's god is always said to be better than everybody else's gods. And Arcadia interrupts and says, basically, I'm going to say this once. No one knows the five gods' true nature except for us, and it is best it stay that way. You shouldn't even know this except for someone with very loose lips. Demetrius, it was an accident. I'm hungover. Well, I understand that, but why? What's wrong with dragon gods? Listen, the gods have powerful enemies that want to kill them. Revealing anything about them at all could endanger their lives and thus your life. I understand. I will refrain from mentioning it any further. We head back to Sidon's temple. Arcadia sees a shed outside and goes in and sees the rhino locked up with a padlock, and she grabs her thieves' tool. Gravik goes to help her, but she is not looking for his help. He leans over her shoulder and tries to give her directions, and she ignores him. Demetrius puts his hand on his shoulder and gently pulls him back. Why are you annoying her? Just let her do her thing. And as she is giving her rhino Bia a little rub on her snout, Demetrius and Gravik notice something metallic bound in leather straps come rolling down the hill from the temple. Demetrius unwraps it, and it is an undamaged Nyx. Gravik says, is that a robotic bird? What? It's a metal bird. Same thing. I've never heard of that strange word you said. I'm sure you haven't heard of a lot of things. And I'm sure you have, Mr. Wise Guy. Well, I am a member of the Bard School of Lore, so yes, I have heard a lot of things. We find out from Nyx that Honora and Vengeance are locked up in the basement of the temple, and Honora fought off some guards and tossed Nyx out the barred window. And as soon as she says that, Corbin just takes off running towards the temple. And there are two acolytes that try to bar our entrance, but Demetrius intimidates them. We go downstairs. Nyx explains where the basement is, and we find three guards lying dead on the floor. Honora is holding a dagger and staring at a priestess with her teeth bared. And we all see that Honora's teeth are sharp and pointy. She is telling the priestess to let her go. She doesn't want to kill any more people, but she's not going to stay there any longer. Arcadia assesses the guards and sees stab wounds from the dagger, but also notices some blood around Honora's mouth. Demetrius looks at Arcadia's mouth just to double check that she doesn't have pointy teeth. And the priestess says, look, these guards got what they deserved. I didn't know anything about this until I was busy cleaning up the temple. Supposedly they found her down here passed out, and they decided to lock her up to use as bait. I'm not stupid. I know who she is, and we were coming down to let her out when she attacked our guards. And we find out that the priestess is telling the truth. Vengeance is there tied up, and Corbin's bag of holding is all there. And Honora says, yeah, and when I tried to find something in the bag of holding, all this shit was in there. And we find out all of the money that belongs to Babocles is in there. Arcadia pulls her aside and says, what's going on with your teeth? And she says, what do you mean? It was just the heat of the moment. I thought I was going to die, so I stabbed and then I bit. And Arcadia says that her teeth are no longer pointy and tells her that they were, and Honora says, sister, you might still be hungover. And Arcadia runs her tongue over her own teeth, and she wonders if this is a symptom of being a half dragon. Gravik also has seen the pointy teeth. So Honora says, can we get out of here now? I'm so sorry, I fucked up. And Demetrius says, it's fine, don't worry about it. Really? You're not mad? Nah, it was fun. Oh, thank you. If only I could remember everything that happened. Same. I would love to hear Arcadia sing. We return the money to Babocles and tells us that Aristodemus has the crown. We exchange the tiger for the crown. Demetrius at the last moment tries to get the cat to choose him, but we find out that the cat, typical cat, just goes to whoever has food. Phoebe comes out and tells Nico that she has collected all of the statues, but she has a good life here with her husband, Aristodemus, and she's going to try to patch things up with him. And as Demetrius walks away, little tears form in his eyes as he leaves Perseus the tiger behind. And he says, "Damn, is someone cutting an onion?" And as we settle everything, Gravik walks up to Arcadia and whispers to her, "Do you want to know what's wrong with your sister? Talk to me later." He nonchalantly walks away. So, the recap of the night. We started drinking. This is what actually happened. We started drinking at the Dragon's Tooth, eventually went to a club where Demetrius and Nico were recognized and invited in. We were not allowed to bring any weapons, so Aesop, being tired, offered to take our weapons when he went home. Now, after a little bit of drinking and dancing, Arcadia was still being very sour, so Honora went and said she would bring everyone some water to help sober up. And that's when she decided to put drops of something in everyone's water. And after some more drinking and dancing, this is when we all lost our memories and shit went crazy, started getting up on tables and dancing. Nico especially had a little group of middle-aged women that seemed to love him. One of these women in particular started following him and mentioned that her husband, Aristodemus, was partaking in a very high-stakes poker game. Then we found ourselves at the Rock of Estor, where Corbin challenged Babocles to a duel to the death, winning but sparing the man's life by booping him on the nose. Then we went to the gambling den. After we won all the money, we made Aristodemus get naked and stole everything. We went back to the Agora. Nico bought every single clay statue of himself. He tried multiple times to purchase the large statue of Corbin, but it was the stall keeper's father had made the statue. It was not for sale, but Corbin later stole it. And at some point, we decided to piss Aristodemus even more, piss him off even more. We went into his estate, where Nico left for a while with Phoebe. The others, led by Kyra, thought it would be hilarious to steal his pride and joy tiger that he kept in the mansion. And we goaded it into the cart, went back to the palace and partied with the cat, leaving the cat there. Multiple times we went back to the Dragon's Tooth, picking up different people, taking them back to the rooms, which we trashed. And after, eventually Corbin decided to lock Babocles, our lucky charm, in the police wagon for safekeeping. And finally, after more partying at the palace, Pythor mentioned how it would be funny to piss off Sidon, and Corbin, Nico, and Demetrius misheard it as piss on Sidon. So we all went to the temple, got Honora to come with us, trashed it before passing out. 2 guards arrived, and after searching, found her down in the basement, thought she would be a good hostage, locked her up there, and after we ran from the priestess started cleaning up. 2 of the guards told her what had happened. That's when she went down to let Honora out, and that's when Honora went apeshit. So Arcadia had told the party about what Queen Valis told her about the Island of the Fates, and she says to them all she needs about the oldest fate, Atropos, if that's what she is called in this land. All she needs to do is do a little snip and we're dead. So she looks pointedly at Demetrius. "This is not the time to run your mouth." And Demetrius says, "Whatever. We have a new guy who's running his mouth, old Gravik." Nico has a mirror. We need to ask Nico if it's indeed magic, but it does have proof of Arcadia smiling and laughing, and so he keeps it. And we end the session the evening of Monday, our 57th day together, with 40 days of the Oath of Peace remaining.
But did you die?
That was good. It's nice to break it up every once in a while. Have other things to do besides death and doom and destruction. Okay, so I believe starting this one, people wanted to do a little talking before this wedding, and I think and Gravik wanted to meet Percy, maybe steal her away from Corbin. And I think, yeah. And then have a little chat with her, with Honora or something like that.
Yeah, so when are we starting the session? Is it still the evening as we finished everything, or?
Yeah, we can start it back off at night after everything's said and done, and yeah.
Can you push the city to Mitros?
That's why you pin it.
Because I have Astoria, but I don't have Mitros saved.
We're in Astoria.
We're in Astoria.
Yeah, I know that, but I also want to save Mitros.
Next time we go there, because it's not on my pins.
Oh.
I had to find it. So next time we ever go there, I'll push it.
Arcadia would try to find Gravik and ask him what's going on with Honora.
I will put on my armor in the meantime.
Ralph, get out of here! Damn, dude.
You muted? Someone muted?
Scuff is. Scuff.
Yeah, I was muted.
She was talking to you.
Oh, yeah, we can do that. So we're just basically leaving the temple again, I'd assume? If we're picking up right where we left off.
Like back up, like you're back kind of like in town, just, doing your thing before like getting ready to head out and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I
so
guess
she would
whenever
pull
we get an
Gravik aside
opportunity to be by ourselves.
ask him what is going on with Honora that you had said you would tell her.
He'll look around kind of cautiously. He's like, it's kind of sensitive. Do you want to talk about it right here in the open?
She says if you want to, we can go to my room.
Oh, so forward of you, you say with a obviously joking grin.
She just stares at him.
His grin will quickly fade. Yes, let's go to your room then.
Okay, so we get to the palace and we go to her room. She closes the door.
He'll walk in, take a look around, kind of nod like, oh, not bad. He'll slowly turn his head back to her. What do you know of vampires?
Never heard of them.
I was afraid of that. This may take a while to explain. Do you have anything that's in your land that feeds on blood?
She can't think of anything other than, wild animals that she's seen. Just eating, normal
Undead
prey.
creatures?
No.
Okay. He'll take a moment to just like collect his thoughts. He'll take his book that he has at his side and open it up and flip through it until he gets to what's his own personal musings on vampires. You see, where I come from, we have creatures that are kind of undead. Oh, undead, obviously undead, but they feed on the blood of the living.
Okay. How did they do that?
With sharp teeth, similar to what your sister was showing.
Oh, and I have a quick question, in Gorgio. When you're talking about sharp, pointy teeth, were they like all sharp, pointy teeth, or were there just like two canine teeth? Were they like more like Dracula sharp, like two teeth are sharp, or all of them are sharp?
All of them are sharp.
Interesting. Okay.
We have there's varying kinds of vampires, but I have some experience with them, and I think your sister might be suffering from vampirism. Has she met any new people from strange lands in the last little while?
She says, "Well, yeah, the guy she's marrying."
Really? Who is she marrying? I haven't really kept up with that.
His name is Lord Bleakhaven.
That's an interesting name. Did he say where he is from?
She's trying to remember. She says she thought he had a. She knows he has an accent. She's not. She doesn't quite remember. It's been a while.
it may just be a personal bias. I could be completely wrong, but I think you should keep an eye on him and her. Is she paler than she normally is? Does she have any wounds on her neck?
Um, and she actually remembers. Oh, the land starts with the letter B, but it's but something. But actually, yes, I do remember at the feast after um, the great games were over. There was a kind of bandage on her neck that she was trying to hide.
That's not a good sign. You see, vampires are made, they're not really born. The vampire will feed on a individual and then let them feed on them, and that usually leads to becoming a vampire.
So they, they she let this guy bite her neck. I mean, is this something that she knows is going on?
Not necessarily. You see, vampires are very charming, he says with a soft grin.
And as soon as he says that, she gets this scowl on her face. She does not like things that charm people.
Yes, like they could easily persuade an individual to let them feed on them. They're very persuasive, and as I said, they like to charm creatures that they're about to feed on. I think we should keep an eye on both of them. If you can get close to your sister and I don't want to say interrogate, but coerce her, tell you what's been happening.
And she says she's getting married tomorrow to this guy.
Well, no time like the present then.
Uh, so I'm guessing. Well, I'm guessing this obviously is a bad thing because if she turns into a vampire, then she'll want to. Do they just drink each other's blood and
They
that's
drink
it? I
everyone
mean,
else's blood, and it's basically it's their food. They can't live without it.
so they don't just keep it to each other. Then they start sucking everybody else's blood.
Yes, they basically parasites that feed on all other living things.
Oh, this doesn't sound good at all. Okay. And do you think that? I guess they must be here then, or if he's from a far off land, maybe he's from your land.
That's a possibility. If you don't never had any vampires here before, it may have came from where I came from.
Well, honestly, I
As
don't know. I had limited experience with creatures outside of my home island.
you probably would have heard of vampires if they existed here. They're quite fearsome creatures that are better to avoid.
Well, there's a lot of things I haven't heard of here, but well, let me talk to Nora.
I would recommend that. Um, but I hope I'm just being paranoid, but I don't think so.
And she opens the door, but then she's going to look for Corbin. And she goes, "Well, she says you wanted to meet the Oracle, and I think we should do that. Let's find
Uh,
Corbin. He'll know where she is."
okay, but if she's getting married to this man tomorrow, I'd recommend haste. And the Oracle can wait. I mean, your sister might be in great danger.
Okay. So she's going to go look for Honora.
It will follow behind her and just kind of drift into thought about what he has just experienced the last day.
Okay. And where exactly are you looking for Nora at?
She knows where her chambers are, I imagine.
Yeah, she's not in her chambers.
Okay, she's going to go to I don't know. She's going to go try to find like the head servant, because she remembers the head servant was saying that Honora had a dress fitting.
Okay. Find the servant, and the servant is like busy, with paperwork and looks up and what? I'm busy. What do you want?
Where is Honora?
Getting her dress fitted.
And where's that?
In the throne room. Anything else?
No, and then she just walks away and goes to the throne room.
You're welcome. And you walk in, you see her with a bunch of different people, a bunch of different women, and a big old selection of big old white dresses. And she sees you and, sister, did you come for a dress?
And she says no.
But
No. Gravik will walk in, immediately see this dress fitting happening, do a quick about face, and walk back out.
And she'll say, but you can't wear that to my wedding. You gotta wear something nicer.
And as Arcadia's standing there, she's looking at Honora. Does she notice that she's paler, and does she notice any new markings on her neck, or what? She's going to be just really looking at her.
Roll investigation or perception, either one. So you stare at her. I mean, she looks about the same level of paleness she's been for since you kind of met her, and you don't really see any new markings on her. And she looks at you and says, "You don't have to look me up and down that well, damn."
And she says, "I need to talk with you after you're done with this."
Okay. What's it about?
I'd like to talk to you in private.
Okay. And she's sitting there. Is it urgent?
Yes.
Okay, ladies, can you give us a moment? My sister here wants to talk, and maybe I'll get her to purchase. And the women all walk out and shut the door.
And Arcadia says, "I'm concerned about you. When you were in the basement, I did not imagine seeing you undergo a physical change, and I was just wondering, can you tell me, have you had any strange dreams or things? Have you noticed anything odd happening?"
Dreams? I don't really dream much. Usually just pass right out, and that, yeah. The only real strange thing is my dad is kind of trying to be a dad now. It's weird.
What's that wound on your neck?
Nothing.
Nothing?
I kind of nicked myself shaving.
Why were you shaving your neck?
No, see all this fine hair? I just wanted to get it all off.
I mean, insight. Can I insight check?
Yeah.
That has to be the lowest DC ever.
I'm gonna use my inspiration. What the hell?
I cut myself shaving and then like Engorgio, oh shit, this is a woman.
No, I know exactly what I was saying.
Okay.
You get the feeling that she's hiding something.
You don't say. Just getting rid of her beard, guys.
She walks up to her and she says, she actually takes her hands. This is very unusual. Takes her hands and looks her straight in the eye, and she says, "Look, I know you don't know. I don't know you very well, but we are sisters, and I am concerned about you, and I need you to tell me what is going on. I know you're not telling me the whole truth."
So, she'll kind of look around. She says, "This is just between us."
And she says, just tell me what's going on."
You have to promise it's just between us.
If this is something I think that is putting you in danger.
No, I'm not in danger.
Well, what is it? You're not in danger?
No, it's... I think that my mom is a dragon.
That are you? That's good.
Who's your mother?
I don't know. But I think my dad made it with a dragon.
So what does this have to do with the marks on your neck? Or you not telling me?
So recently... recently, when I've been getting like really scared or angry, I feel like I get like really big, like a lot of strength, and my teeth change, and and it feels like a dragon teeth, you know, and these marks, it's kind of what they somebody like sticks me in the neck with like this little medicine that knocks me out, so I'm not in danger.
What? Someone is giving you shots in your neck?
Yeah, I asked him to.
Who is giving you shots in your neck?
My beloved.
So Lord Bluehaven is giving you shots in your neck?
Yeah, when I get out of control, like when I ask him to. I mean, I'm okay with this. I asked him to do it. If I get too, crazy, because I don't want to be a danger until I can get it under control.
What causes you to go crazy?
When I get really scared or angry, I think it's kind of tied with like my heightened emotions.
Are you having heightened emotions lately?
Well, I am getting married tomorrow. I am becoming the queen. So yeah,
I'm distracted by what Dan just wrote. Oh my god.
And I was just kidnapped and locked up. I'm a little emotional.
So, how does he give you these? How does he give you these shots? Like, is there some sort of device?
No, it's just a vial, and we have a needle, and he fills it up a little bit, and then just injects it. Why did you think something was wrong? Like, I mean, you can't let anyone know this.
And she says, "I'm just concerned with this change. I mean, how well do you know? How long has it been since you met Lord Bluehaven?"
I don't remember now. It's been a little bit. Like 2 months? I met him like right after I met Eves.
Okay,
What-
well,
Why are you so worried about Bloodhaven? He's such a great man.
this is a big thing. You're combining the two countries. I just want to make sure that you are being properly cared for.
Oh yeah. Like, we'll be fine. And if anything happens, you know my dad's there.
Well, I appreciate you telling me.
Yeah. Anyways, so how about that dress?
And she just says, "I'll think about it," and she leaves.
And as you walk out, she says, "Just please be nice to Volker. He's such a good man."
As she steps to leave out, Gravik is kind of crouched over with his ear against the door and quickly jumps up and tries to act nonchalant as he kind of like whistles to himself.
Give me 1 second here before you do anything. Let's do this. And let's do perception. Okay. Pushed your roll. Okay, we gotta give you a roll.
Yeah.
I gave it to. There we go. Yes, Keth. All that just was said. You didn't hear any of it, except like muffled tones.
So how did it go?
And she says, "Let's go back to my room." And she would tell him basically everything that Nora told her. And she says,
Wow.
Bit frail.
and she says
like,
she told me this in confidence, and I'm telling you because I need your advice, because I honestly don't know if that is a symptom of being half of a dragon. That, as far as I know, has not happened to me, but it seems she's pretty convinced that her fiance is helping her out.
by potentially drugging her. Did she say what color the fluid was that was being injected into her?
No. I didn't ask.
I've never heard of anything like this before, and also it's... Well, she thinks her mother was... She doesn't know that her father is... She like quickly looks around the room as if someone else could be in there. A god dragon?
No.
But you've never experienced anything like this, though.
No.
So,
Sus.
probably not then by the process of elimination.
Probably what, by the process of
It's
elimination?
probably not what... It's not because of her lineage that is, she's having these episodes.
So you still think it's this vampire thing?
I'm leaning more into that than what she thinks it is. And why would Lord Bloodhaven have a cure for that? He's not even from these lands, and probably has never dealt with anything like this. Dragonborn don't normally act like this.
They don't?
No, like,
What's
this
a
is
dragonborn?
definitely unique. This is definitely unique, but never dealt with a demigod before that from a dragon. But we can use you as an example, and you said you've never experienced it, what she's experiencing.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think it's enough
I don't think it is either.
information right now for me to just stop the wedding.
No, I don't think royal weddings can be stopped that easily. We've got to, the very most, we had to at least watch them. Should we tell the others so that we have extra pairs of eyes and ears?
We can tell them except for the part about Honora thinking her mother's a dragon. And the whole story with Honora, I only told you because you have more insight into these things. But just that, the teeth and her behavior and your experience with vampires.
We could just tell them to keep their eyes out for anything peculiar about the groom and the bride.
Okay.
Till
I'll
then,
ask them I'll ask them if they've noticed anything odd about Haven or.
is there anything you could do to get closer with your sister? I don't know. It looked like she was trying on dresses. You could help her with that.
I think she has a bunch of servants to help her choose a dress.
She does, but she probably would want her sister to be there for it as well. Probably mean a lot to her.
Well,
Sure, you need a dress fitting too if you're going to be at the wedding.
she just stares at him.
I'm going to probably get a suit as well if I'm invited.
Let's just find the rest of the party.
Yes, let's.
Well,
So we go
Amitris
out
is
and look for people.
you find Amitris in his room, and as you open the door to walk in or knock, you see that he is scraping sweat from his body into a large jar.
Nasty.
Do I even want to ask?
And he raises an eyebrow, like, why is this graphic being weird again?
What are you doing?
And he says, what does it look like I'm doing?
I have no idea. That is why I asked.
And he shows graphic that he is scraping sweat from his body into a jar
I gathered that. For what reason?
to gather my sweat, obviously,
Why?
to sell it.
Gravik just falls silent. It's just like a moment.
What do you
of-
think one of these jars is worth?
Like his brain just
Take a guess.
short-circuited for a moment. He just like freezes in place with his mouth slightly agape, and he just turns and walks out of the room.
And Amitris shrugs and he puts the wooden lid back on the jar, and he puts it back with his stuff. And he opens his bag of holding and he holds the jar over it and then lets it go, and like the jar is sucked in like some cartoon effect. And he puts the bag on his hip and he walks up to Arcadia and says, "What's going on with that guy? Why are you still hanging out with him?"
I've had some concerns about Honora. You saw her teeth. Did you see her teeth in the basement of the temple?
And he scratches his head. He says, "It was pretty dark, wasn't it? I think I was way at the front fighting something else. I didn't see no
Well, she
teeth."
says her teeth were sharp and pointy, and Gravik saw it, and he told me he knew what was going on. And he told me that there are creatures. Well, first of all, have you ever heard of a vampire?
A what?
Okay. And she says, in his land there are undead creatures called vampires. And
Right.
apparently they can turn other creatures into vampires, and it involves exchanging blood. I know this sounds really weird, but remember that I saw at the Great Games Feast, Honora had a bandage on her neck. And so basically we need to just kind of keep an eye on her and Bluethaven for anything unusual. I mean, have you noticed anything unusual about either of them?
You know, I've noticed something unusual. I'll tell you what it is. It's that graphic guy. He's unusual. This entire story is more of his silly fabrications with his Bahamut. And are you telling me that Honora is what? An undead monster? That's ridiculous.
Those granite shirts from outside the room. I'm not the one scraping sweat into buckets.
Shut up, wizard. That's 2,000 gold per jar. I think this entire story with his own land and his experiences is nonsense. Everything he says is always nonsense. Neither Honora nor Bloodhaven are undead. I've talked to the guy. I've shaken his hand. He's just a guy.
And you've not noticed anything unusual about him?
Well, I don't like him, but he's not an undead. I know what an undead looks like. I fought tons of undead.
Okay. Well, just keep an eye on him anyway. And does Demetrius not remember how he held the altar by himself on his back? His like uncanny, or he doesn't. He just chalks that up as the guy being really strong.
He doesn't consider that odd because that I think that guy succeeded the deception or told I was pretending to be super exhausted.
Okay, cool.
But he's like, so what's this guy's vested interest in your sister anyway?
Who, Gravik?
Yes.
He just told me he thought what was going on, so I asked.
And you trust him, these fairy tales from his strange lands.
I'm giving him the benefit of the doubt because it is my sister.
Then why don't you just go and talk to her?
I did, but she doesn't seem to think anything's going.
Then why does she
anything's
have the
odd.
marks on her neck? Did you ask?
Yeah, she just. It's some thing between her fiance and herself. So.
Something? Did you ask her what it was?
Yeah, but I'm not at liberty to tell you. But
Then I'll go ask her myself.
No. Well, you can ask her what's going on with her neck and see what she tells
I'll
you.
put this entire thing to bed. I'll just gather everyone and tell them about this theory.
Well, not everyone. Don't tell Honora that. But yes, let's tell
Why
the
not?
party.
She's our friend. Shouldn't this like involve her?
I think by telling her too much might alienate her. We don't want to alienate her from us.
Right. Well, if this is true, is there some way to prove this little theory of his?
I think we'd only have to spy on her or something.
Wizard, come here.
Done scraping the sweat off your body.
Yes, I'm done scraping the sweat off my body.
He'll like poke his head into the room to make sure he's telling the truth before stepping in.
Well, he's still naked, but for a centaur, it doesn't look odd because he's mostly naked. But yeah, he stopped scraping the sweat, but the room does smell a little.
He like pulls one of his sleeves up to his mouth for a moment and then brings it down.
Get over it, man. Come on. I have questions for you.
What are they?
What is this outrageous tale that you are tricking Arcadia with?
It's not a trick. I'm just being cautious. This is just something that
her sister is an undead monster, our friend.
What do you know about undead monsters? Because apparently you don't know about many of them.
I've killed undead monsters, many of them.
What were the undead monsters that you've killed before?
Skeletons, zombies, I think, and that's it.
Yeah, vampires are leagues above those, and they can easily blend in with people.
Oh, right. Of course, they're the perfect monsters. So, why isn't everyone a vampire? Why haven't they taken over their city?
Because who would they feed on then?
So they need blood. So you're saying that her neck wounds are caused by this, by him sucking her blood or something?
That's what I originally thought, but
But what?
what was it? You said that your sister told you that Bloodhaven was injecting her with something.
That's what she remembers. But if you're right and you say that he can charm people, couldn't he make her believe something else is happening than what's really happening?
That's exactly my thought process in this, but
So, how do we prove your theory?
we could get a look at her at the actual wound on her neck, but that would require removing the bandage. I don't know who's close enough to her to be able to do that.
Okay, that's it.
No, hold on. Give me a moment to think. Do any of you have? You're a paladin, aren't you, Centaur?
Yes.
You have. Can you detect evil or good?
No.
Or undead? You can detect
Yes.
undead.
Yes.
Yes, I can detect undead, but not
And she
evil.
and she says, "But by the way, can you do that divine sense that you have, and then you can see if she's undead?" And I'm really curious what Pythor is. If he comes across as a god, I mean, I know he's part god, but I'm kind of curious if he comes across as, what do you call those, celestials?
He comes across as a god.
Oh, he does?
Yes. Same as Kyra, same as all of the others.
Well, and I'd be curious what Lutehaven comes across as, and Honora at this point, if you say.
Tell you what, I'll make a deal with the two of you. I will help you this one time to pursue this insane theory, and we'll see if Honora is undead. And if she's not, then she's just telling the truth about getting some medication. And I don't know what you saw in the middle of combat in the dark, but it probably means something else. So if she's not undead, we'll put this to rest.
Well, I want you to do it on Bluehaven as well, please.
Don't know if she has completely been changed yet. It may not work on her, but Lord Bluehaven, if he is a vampire, it probably would show you. But
you know how crazy this sounds? You two come up to me, you begin talking about Honora being a monster because you saw her change in battle, and now we have to investigate her. Fine, I'll test them, but if nothing comes up, then you two have to drop this.
agreed. Acadia?
She just nods.
Very well. When the next opportunity arises, I'll open my senses.
Okay.
Or do you want to do it before the wedding, or?
Yeah, we want to do it as soon as possible.
Well,
So
right.
like, kind of like search out Bluehaven then?
Well, I
we'd like
guess
to
we
try
can
to
start
get
with
them when they're
Honora.
together. The first opportunity when the two of them are close enough together that he can do it on both of them. Or I suppose you could do it one after the other. I mean, how often can you use that sense?
Equal to my charisma modifier per day. So I think like 3 times, 4.
Well, there is a pre-wedding dinner.
Oh, yeah, let's just do it then.
Okay, 4 times, yeah. We'll do it at pre-wedding dinner then, and until then, let's go check up on Corbin.
Yeah, Corbin's been oddly absent this whole conversation, this whole time. So you're looking for Corbin now?
Yeah, but are you sick or something, Corbin?
Nope.
Oh, okay. There you go.
There might be it might be a hat on his door.
Where can we find you?
I'm in my room and there's a kilt on the door. Some strange noises coming from inside.
Okay, I'll knock on the door and wait outside.
Oh,
Ah! You hear some like complaining, and Corbin comes to the door, reaches outside, grabs the kilt, opens the door. He's got the kilt done, nothing else.
Yeah,
what do you
we
want
need
me
to
to
go
do?
inside. We need a private conversation.
Oh, wait a minute. I'll close the door. I'll say a few things, and then I'll open the door. And the Oracle is in there, and that's the Oracle was having a vision.
I see.
Was
Must be
she-
a mighty vision.
Was she seeing God?
I hope
well,
that
and
we.
Arcadia says, "Well, here's your chance to meet the
I
Oracle."
will open my divine sense and try to get a read on Oracle.
Divine sense in this area?
Yeah, within 60 feet of the Oracle.
Give me 2 seconds here.
She's undead. She's a vampire.
I was just curious if she's a human or a celestial as well.
Right, yeah, interesting. Yeah, because she's Sidon's daughter, right? So she should come across as what, celestial?
Yeah, but the dragons shouldn't come across as celestial, but they do. So maybe Sidon and the gods are a special case. Because like a Titan is like just a, they have their own type. Like, isn't this just giant?
Okay, so opening up your divine senses, you do not get anything.
And
Well,
you see Amitrius's eyes glow in a way that is somewhat familiar to Arcadia. They turn white for a moment, and then he raises his eyebrows in surprise. They glow white.
because he saw Sidon, Lutheria, and what's his name, Corvina. They were all celestial. At the when we were.
I don't know about
getting your
Corvina, but
champion.
yes, Sidon, all of the five
No,
gods.
Corvina. You said that he glowed because he was. You said that. Yeah, you.
Oh
Definitely
yeah,
saw that.
you mean the Corbin clone?
Yes.
Yeah, the Corbin clone and Sidon and Lutheria all came across as celestial.
Yes.
Interesting.
Corbin's probably glowing a little bit. He's godlike right now.
Mavic sees this, he like looks down at Corbin, then up at the Oracle, and just kind of shakes his head. It's always the little ones.
And Arcadia says, Pharisee, this is the man you told us to look for. So now what?
Well, now I would like a little privacy, please, so I can get dressed.
Huh? I will turn to Arcadia and says, first he told you to look for someone.
Oh, she said, Corbin told us that, well, let's go outside for a second. And so let her.
So
get
that's
there.
why you've been
Corbin-
hanging out with this wizard.
Corbin ushers everybody out. He doesn't bother getting dressed besides his kilt.
Of course. I
So
just like
when we
having-
are when we are outside, Amitrius says, so that's why you've been hanging out with this wizard.
This is the guy that at the Great Games feast, Corbin came back
Molly,
and told us to
motherfucker!
look for a man asleep next to the decapitated head of a stone statue.
I don't remember that.
And well,
It was a while
Corbin-
back.
Corbin told us. Corbin told us to look for this guy.
And he did. I know that Arcadia, but Amitrius doesn't. And then he
Okay,
says,
got it.
I just thought you had like a fancy for this guy, because I'm pretty sure I saw you two enter your room for quite a while.
Mavic will just like kind of like stiffen
Corbin's
and
eyeball
like, wave
raises.
his hands like, no, do not, no.
He just stares at Amitrius.
I guess I was wrong then. You actually had a reason to be with him. I thought he was some kind of Amazon boy toy or something. I hear you women kidnap your mates.
Demetrius, shut up. Just like moves a hand to his eye, like covers his eyes, and just like isn't cringing in pain.
Well, we'll see what the Oracle has to say about you.
Yeah, so I guess we'll wait for the Oracle to come in. Or when
Yeah,
she's
she-
ready, we can go back into the room.
Yeah, she said she can come in now.
Okay, guess we enter the room.
Alright. And,
Demetrius will give his best polite bow.
and Scathy, that's what she looks like. And she's also kind of glowing a little bit.
Wait, are you sure you don't want a little more time to freshen up?
Well, if you would have given me like 5 more minutes before rudely banging on the door, there's a kilt on there for a reason. Let's just get it over with.
He's just gonna like subtly point in Demetrius's direction, just like.
And she looks at you.
Mark-
And she looks at Gravik and notices him for the first time, and oh, you found
And
him.
Arcadia says, yes. And she says, so now what? What are we supposed to do? What with him?
I mean, he is destined to help you. I know he doesn't look much, but and still kind of young. But
Arcadia's eyebrows go up. She goes, you mean he's supposed to join us?
yeah. See, even I'm wrong sometimes.
Yeah, there's no way this guy can possibly be of use to us. All he does all day is make up fairy tales. Have you ever heard of something called a vampire?
A what?
Exactly. You are the Oracle, and even you do not know what a vampire is, but this guy knows all about them.
As I said, all women all people cannot be always right. Or all
No.
not.
What were you originally going to say, young man?
It's nothing. I misspoke. I misspoke.
So Arcadia says, do you have any prophecy for him like you did for us?
I do.
Damn it.
Now, young Gravik, would you like me to tell everybody, or would you like it secret?
If you keep it secret, you're not coming on the Ultros.
I don't know what that is.
You'll find out.
Okay. I guess our gallant leader just made it clear that it has to be with the group, or I will not be going with them.
That's how we do things.
Alright, well, I see that you are destined to find your way home. But first, you must find the lost treasure of the Dragonlords.
Jesus, when he hears that he's destined to go home, you see this like a wave of relief just wash over him, and then it just all gets taken away when he has to find a treasure. Like, oh.
Wait, didn't we already go to the tombs of the Dragonlord? And Corbin found the helmet? That's not it?
No.
That was my armor that I found.
Does he have a star sign?
He does not have a star sign.
Damn it.
What's a star sign? Like a constellation attached
Yes,
to him?
yes,
or
a
what?
constellation.
He does not.
Is that the extent of his prophecy? He just needs to find the treasure?
No. But she was kind of waiting for him to maybe ask.
So where can I find this treasure if I want to get home?
And I'll say, before you do anything, write everything she says down, because she's always right.
I don't believe that, but okay, I usually wait
Excuse me?
anyways. No, he just like quickly pulls out his.
If you don't think I'm ever right, how about I tell you something that only you would probably know?
But that's not necessary. We don't have to share secrets.
No, you should show him
Arceus says
Great
yes.
Oracle.
Yeah, Arceus says yes. Still tell him something.
Okay. Young
No,
Rabbit.
no, it's not. No, it's not necessary. Let's. What was the prophecy? Go on.
That's what I thought. So the lost treasure of the Dragonlords is sealed in a prison in the Nether Sea. There is the only person who knows where that exact spot and location is one Esther Arkelander.
Him again.
You've already met this person before?
Oh yes.
Yeah, he was a dead guy. We killed him. Maybe he was a vampire.
Well, we didn't exactly kill him. We just banished him from this plane. The only way he can be killed is with his own sword, which apparently I believe Lutheria has. But basically, he is probably about the level of your vampire. So we need to...
Arcadia, we are only
Work on
little
this.
pumpkins compared to the wisdom of Graphic. We don't know undead. We've never faced an undead. Why don't you tell us what he was, Graphic?
Just ignoring the sarcasm, you're just like, I'm glad you have accepted your place, Ametrius.
And she'll also say, now, another thing. You are destined to find the White Book of Thylia.
I'm sorry, can you say that again? What was that?
The White Book of Thylia.
What is the importance of that? He's just quickly scribbling it down in the book that he has in his hands.
It gives information on how this land connects to other worlds. You might find it through the Lotus Witch, or the Fates, or the Library of Yondor.
The Lotus Witch,
kind of
I
groans.
think
She
I
is
know
on
what
the
you're talking
island of... She is on the island, Scorpion Island.
Yes. I've been meaning to go there to free that tribe of centaurs anyway.
Scorpion Island?
Keep up, wizard.
Right. Just goes back to his book. It just is basically he's just transcribing what's being said right now.
But be warned. That what you seek, whom which you seek, will find you.
Ah.
That's very cryptic.
Maybe it's a vampire.
Corbin's standing behind Gravis and looking at the Oracle and giving her a thumbs up and a wink.
It's like
Arcadia asks Gravik, he says, who are you looking for?
I'm not really looking for anyone. I'm just kind of on a trip of an exploration.
Uh-huh.
And I found myself here not really knowing how or why. Now I just need to get back to Faerun.
Do
Hey,
us
who?
a favor. Do us a favor. Be nice to Pythor.
Sure.
The only one that can help you is the Oracle. She knows things, and if you ever want to leave this world of ours, she's your way, so you better listen to what she says.
I will take that advice. Just one moment. He closes his book and moves over to the Oracle and leans in what secrets do you actually know about me?
I know what you are.
Hearing that, he quickly leans back and takes a few 3 paces backwards. Understood. I think I've got all the details that I need to figure this out now. I'll see all of you at the wedding. And he quickly rushes out of the room.
He's a strange
And
one.
Arcadia
isn't
just
he?
will say, "What did?" She'll just say, "What secrets do you know? Did we hear him? Could we hear his whisper at all?"
Roll a perception DC of 18. Yeah, you can do it in the open.
Oh,
Damn it! Just missed.
And I don't know shit, but I think this is the perfect moment to crack another joke and say, hey, who knows? Maybe he's a vampire as well.
And she will laugh. What's a vampire?
I have no idea.
And Arcadia says, "Apparently, some undead that lives off of sucking the blood out of living creatures."
Oh, so like your old friend Estavos. Steve.
Really?
He like bones.
She was being facetious, like trying to say he was dead weight.
It was just insane.
Dead weight, not worth much. Even she gets it wrong
Leech.
sometimes. Yeah, leech. So where are you off to next?
Arcadia says, "I think we're going to the island of the Fates. Do you have any advice for us?"
She spits on the ground. Take what they say with a grain of salt. Maybe a shot of penicillin.
I have a question for you, Grand Oracle. What are the Fates?
As she thinks for a moment. They are... And she ponders. They are divine beings who personified birth, life, and death of this land. Be careful what you say, and if you think I'm cryptic, just be nice and pay attention on exactly what they say.
Do you have some connection to the Fates? Your powers?
Yes and no.
Can you elaborate on that?
No.
Do your powers come from the Fates?
No.
Are the Fates able to be killed?
That is unknown.
Do they predate the five gods?
They predate, according to them at least, they predate everything.
Have you ever met them?
Once.
Do you have a message for them?
I have nothing to say to those hags.
Do you have any quest you need us to carry out?
Keep him in line. And when she says him, she points at Corbin.
Possibly the most difficult task we have gotten so far.
And if I will say this, I know you like to chat and talk a lot of smack, especially to Pythor and my father. If you're seeking out and talking to the Fates, be on your guard, because one of them will cut you down and think nothing of it.
Which one?
She calls herself Granny A.
We'll be fine. We have dealt with gods before, and personally, I have nothing but respect for Pythor. It's just that I point at Graphic and Corbin, or Graphic already left. The others have some trouble with that.
Understandable. Just
We'll be very careful.
yes. Supposedly they are the ones who killed. Never mind.
Killed what?
And she'll say, "Never mind."
Hmm.
Right. Well,
And Arcadia says, so they can determine who lives and who dies?
Yes. You see, they have this loom, and it has all kinds of threads on it, and they say that the threads are your life, and the length of the thread is how long you are to live, and the shears are what kills you.
And the shears? The scissors?
Shears, yes.
So when a life ends, they just cut the thread.
Correct. And if you piss them off, there's nothing stopping them from cutting your thread right then and there. And if you are to, say, make a bargain with them and make a deal, make sure you get the terms and you do exactly what is asked. Because they have a penchant for punishing those who break their deals.
So when we're talking about fate or destiny, are they really controlling what happens to us, or do we have any free will?
everyone knows it's in the hands of the fates.
See, that's where I don't agree with them. Like I think we all have free will, but according to them, everything is already predestined, and they know exactly what's going to happen.
But it sounds like if we bargain with them, they might change our fate.
But according to, see, that's where you're getting into semantics, because according to them, they already know that you're going to bargain with them.
Yeah, so I don't really need to watch what I say around them because they already know what I'm going to say.
Yes, and they already know that they're going to kill you.
Maybe. Maybe they know that I will defeat them.
All right. We will heed your warning.
Yes, and I would travel, but I'm not going anywhere near that island.
Understood. Then, you should probably stay here in Astoria because we will be traveling there next.
Oh, I plan on staying here for a little bit, and I'll probably go down to Mutros.
Anyone else have any business with her?
Ooh, I do.
Corbin, come on, we have things to do.
Exactly.
Thought it was nighttime.
Is it?
Yeah. It's like evening. It's almost dinner time.
I look out the window and I say, wait, why am I still doing business? It's time for dinner. And then I abandon the party and go to eat and sleep.
Well, there's the pre-wedding feast, right? That's what's happening too.
Correct.
Yeah,
Oh,
you still need to do your
okay.
magic thing.
I'll
Magic
see you
eyeball.
at the feast then, Corbin.
Yes, we will.
Purdy leaves. Gravik is just standing by the door, obviously have been trying to listen in on what was going on.
Okay, you're creeping.
Yeah,
Yeah, he was creeping.
Gravik is so confused. He comes from Faerun where everything works differently.
Does Corbin notice that he's outside the door?
Yeah.
Alright. Then I would say to the Oracle, I can't believe you told what you told me about him.
It is. Can I do an insight check for that?
Sure. And roll deceptions.
I gotta do a deception. Hold on.
Yeah. Always thinking fast, Corbin. Ah! Yikes.
Seth will, or sorry, Seth. Gravik will quickly poke his head in the door. What?
Nothing, Gravik, nothing.
What did you say? What did he tell you? What did she tell you?
No, she said you were a really nice guy.
Okay. I'll just close this for you. And he starts closing the door.
I'll rip off my kilt and throw it to him. I'm like, here, put that on there for me.
He'll quickly shut the door so the kilt just slaps against the friggin' wooden door.
Gross. And Sketh or Gravik, as you walk away, the Oracle will say, "We have to be quick. It's almost dinner time."
Don't worry, baby. Quick is my middle name.
I will click my boots together.
Oh my god.
Gravik will
Double
just
movement
shake
speed.
Gravik will shake his head and just say again, always the little ones. And just trails behind the group as he leaves.
Jesus Christ. Still counts.
I don't think Gravik knows about the booty speed, but
Always the little ones. Alright, with that, let's take our break.
Oh, good.
Yeah, I gotta
Give me
be.
a drink.
Yeah. Let's go back at half past. So we will do
Thank you.
this. And we'll do this. And we'll be back in a little bit because I gotta pee. And, you know, because I'm old. So if you go away, please come back. Okay, bye.
And I'm back.
Welcome back.
Usually helpful.
And we are back. Yeah. Alright, so let's do this. No, I don't like that one. Alright, so yeah, we are, you hear the dinner bell ringing. I'm assuming everyone's gonna go. Because, food.
Yep.
Yep.
Alright.
Okay, yeah, only drinks water. She never eats.
So Arcadia doesn't eat? Sus.
Hmm.
Isn't that what Sketh said, Gravik said vampires do? Anyways, so you go down there, Kyra's there, Corbin escorts Percy, and Pythor's there. His beard is combed and braided, but he is wearing big old black goggles. And Bluethaven and Nora are all there, and a bunch of different people. You also see Aristodemos and Phoebe. And yeah, Pythor welcomes everyone to the pre-wedding coronation feast.
Okay, does Demetrius do his divine sense?
I don't know.
Demetrius is waiting for the toast and smiling at Pythor.
Okay.
Corbin wants to ask Gravix if there's a way. Like, what are vampires weak against, or is there a way to identify them?
Depends on the strength of the vampire. They don't like sunlight usually. Stake in the heart will do them in. And beheadings. But
I think the wedding party might notice if I did that.
Well, and to be fair, they have seen Bluehaven out in the sunlight when he was helping move the altar.
But he did say that
Ambrose.
depending on the strength of the vampire.
Fair. But yeah,
I was
Pythor. Oh, go ahead. Good.
I was hoping there'd be like some kind of food they didn't like or something.
Not that I'm aware of garlic, but that's more of just a myth, I think. Supposedly they don't like silver. I've never been close enough to test it myself.
I'll start looking around and see if there's any garlic or silver around.
There is. Oh, there's garlic, and of course, all the silverware is silver.
And Amitrius has seemingly forgotten completely about their agreement a bit prior and has just seated down and is eating the food and enjoying.
Noticing this, Gravik will just kind of like whisper to Corbin, I don't think we can count on Amitrius.
Oh, he's pretty reliable when it comes time.
I guess so. I'll take your word for it.
And Demetrius does not look reliable. He's like laughing with someone that asked him about the great games.
And then Arcadia says sometimes he just needs a little prodding, and she'll walk over to him and say, when no one is around him, say, hey, divine sense, right?
What? Oh, right. You're still chasing that fairy tale. Very well. And he will close his eyes and he will internally reach out to his divine power and he will open his senses to everything that it's picking up and open his eyes again and look at Anora and Broodhaven.
Okay. And that is what you pick up.
Is Pythor in his field of vision too?
Yes. As is Kyra.
He will just look around the entire table.
That is what you pick up.
And all right, he will close his eyes again and he will continue eating.
Okay. And when you do that, you notice that Bloodhaven was like kind of staring at you when you come back.
At me?
Yes.
Oh, just because I was looking around.
Well, he's just looking. Well, he's checking you out, maybe. I don't know.
Okay, I'm just gonna awkwardly ignore him, I guess.
Okay. And you see him turn his attention back and have a smile again on his face.
That was
So
weird.
Arcadia will say, so what did you see?
It's as I expected, it's nothing.
Well, what did they come back as?
Well, and he'll look to his left and right, make sure that nobody can hear them. And he will whisper to Arcadia, well, he comes off as a god. Same as Pythor and Kyra.
And she says, so they're all celestials?
Yes. Except Anora.
And did she come back as nothing?
Same as the Oracle.
Oh, interesting. The Oracle comes back as nothing.
Yes.
I thought she was Sidon's
Oh, she's
daughter.
just a human.
What?
And I'm pretty sure that dragon that we once faced on that isle also came off as nothing. But the gods do. Something else is going on.
Sus.
Well, thank you. And she'll go back to Gravik. And she'll say, we gotta drop it.
What? What do you mean? What happened? Did he
didn't
did he do it?
He didn't come back as undead. And
Why
neither
did he
did
come back
Honora. She looks around and says, believe it or not, a god.
God.
Meanwhile, Corbin's stuffing as many garlic cloves as he can find in his bag.
Could Gravik do perhaps a history check or something to like a god vampire?
Sure. DC 19.
In the tower?
Open's fine.
Okay. That is just kind of. I guess I was just being paranoid. Sorry if I alarmed you.
And she says, well, it still doesn't answer the question about the teeth. Just have to keep an eye on things. Meaning herself.
Oh.
But she doesn't say that.
And Pythor will get up and make a big, long, drawn-out speech. He is a little intoxicated, and he asks if any of the... He'll point over to where y'all are sitting and ask if any of the heroes of the land would like to say a word or two. And everyone just kind of turns and looks at y'all.
I will look at Corbin.
Corbin quickly puts a garlic clove away. What?
I'll nod over to Pythor. You're a god, remember?
Like, I hope they are fruitful and multiply.
Seeing this embarrassing display, Gravik will pick up his glass and stand up and like, I have only known the heroes for a very short time, but in that short time I have come to know them to be reliable, honorable, and great individuals. And they have shown their willingness to sacrifice to protect this land. And I'm sure that they will help to ensure its prosperous future and continue to strive for its prosperity.
While you're saying that, Aristodamos snorts.
And Amitrius has his arms folded and he is glaring at Gravik.
Why would you glare at the boy?
He'll sit back down and just like try to ignore any nasty glares.
Amitrius will stand up and he will pump his fist into the air and he'll say, "For Astoria!"
And Bloodhaven will stand up and he says, I know most of you know me, know that I am from distant lands, from Barovia. One of our toasts, we toast to our king of the land, King Chelsis, and here's to him and to all of us and to a great merging of the lands. And Pythor will clap, clap, clap.
What the lands? What was his land again? Where did he come from?
Be something.
Barovia?
Yeah. That was it.
Yes. Really?
Yeah, what about it?
He's just gonna look back at Lord Bloodhaven and just kind of like squint his eyes a little. Just like, don't worry about it. He just like takes a moment to think to himself.
Right, you ever heard of Barovia?
Not particular.
I'll insight check him. I'm immediately disinterested and I'm like, okay, fine, whatever.
After that, Sketh or Gravik will just kind of like fall silent.
Is Arcadia sitting next to him?
If she wants to be.
Want is a very...
She doesn't really want to be anywhere, but so she'll say, "Yeah, Barovia" to him. Ring a bell?
I've heard stories. I didn't think it existed. I hoped it didn't exist.
What do you mean by that?
Maybe that vampire idea is not off the table just yet.
Well, we'll just have to keep an eye on him.
Corbin comes by and shows me he's got a lot of garlic cloves.
God.
If we're dealing with the level of vampire I think we might be dealing with, might want to, I don't know, make some pasta with that.
I'll take. I'll move over and I will tower over Graphic. I'll say enough with this silly fantasy tale. We've proved it wrong, and you gave me your word. You would no longer pursue it. So you're not going to magically think of some other reason as to why it could be possible. It's off the table. Let it go. We're busy enough.
Isn't it odd that he came back as a god?
I don't give a. He's not a god.
But I'm
Why does he look like one then?
Well, I don't know, but the last time that I was with him, even minor physical activity made him tired. And when you look, for example, at Kyra, she's not exceptionally strong. So,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
and when she used her magic on us, she was extremely weakened. So, I'm not sure if it means that this guy is immediately one of the five gods, but rather a certain type of being, if that makes sense.
Sure, Demetrius, we'll go with that. I'll drop it.
Fine.
But he'll obviously, like, just look over at Lord Bluethaven, just, like, keep his eyes narrowed on him.
And when you're doing that, he looks at you and he'll stand up and he'll actually walk over.
Immediately does not seem happy about the situation, but tries to play it off as nonchalantly as he can.
And he'll come up to you and hold out his hand and says, Volker Bluethaven, nice to meet you.
He'll stand up from his seat and take his hand and shake it. Braddock Thorne, it's a pleasure to meet you.
And I don't know, have you seen a picture of what he looks like?
I don't think so. Not...
Okay, give me a second then.
Actually, while we're stopped, I've been meaning to ask to do this. Can we all describe what we look like? Because can you describe what Gravik looks like, how old he looks like, and we can each describe ourselves to you, because I realize we really haven't done that.
That's fair, and that's what he looks like.
Yeah, a pretty boy. Sure. Gravik looks very similar to his picture. He has scruffy dark brown hair. He has a few weeks growth of beard on his chin, and he's dressed in very colorful robes, seeming to indicate his mastery of elements like fire, wind, water, ice, stuff like that. He's about 5'11", athletically built. He's actually a little scrawny, but other than that, he's somewhat handsome if he didn't look so scruffy from all his traveling. He looks a little dirty and dusty. Even with prestidigitation, he doesn't seem to use that often to clean himself up. But that's about what he looks like.
Now, about how old would you say he is?
Let me just double check and see what I have on there. He's 24 years old.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's about the same age that Chemos was, because he was 23.
Chemos was an old man, though.
Chemos became an old man.
Yeah, and then he turned 63. Yes. So Arcadia is 5'10", and about 145 pounds, so she's wiry. She looks like what?
Nothing.
She looks like her picture. She has streaked brown hair, brown eyes, and she looks to be about 19. She's pretty young.
Well, I'll describe Mithrius. He is a large centaur very muscular and athletic, as if he works out every day. He's about nearing his 40s, but not quite there yet. And he has a lot of scars, often has body paint on the many parts of him that are often exposed. He never wears pants or underwear. Surprisingly, he has a bag of holding, so he's not like wearing a backpack or many gear. So he's got his arms and his back mostly free. Often seen wearing a torso plate that also extends over his back like barding, made of red metal. And people know that is a fire-resistant plate.
I forgot to say that you would see Arcadia has a backpack. She has an unusually shaped sword at her side, which it looks heavier towards the chopping end. She is wearing also a disc. It looks like a circle. She has something that looks probably like a harp. And if you were to look closely on her right forearm, there's a tattoo that extends almost up to her elbow. Looks like it might be a stylized kraken. If you even get close enough, you would see there's a scar on the palm of her right hand. And she is wearing studded leather armor and carries a hand crossbow. She also has a crossbow, and that's her main weapon.
The mighty Corbin is 3.5 foot tall with very large hands. He's wearing his traditional kilt and bagpipe.
Is he wearing a shirt today?
Yeah, he put on a little shirt for the fancy dress.
Is it oh god, can't think of the name. Is it the checkered like?
Oh yeah, it's definitely the pattern.
Yeah, I can't think of the damn name now.
Art.
Like a lumberjack shirt.
Yeah.
Red and black with checkers.
Flannel.
Yeah, flannel. Thank you.
Also, I think we all made these Hero Forge versions of our characters.
Oh yeah, we did at one point.
Those could be fun to share.
That'd be a lot. That was a
Yeah,
long
and how
time
old does
ago.
Corbin look?
Not. He looks. It's kind of hard to tell how old he is because he's a gnome, but
Oh, that's right.
he's actually 500 years old, or almost 500. He's what? How many days till the peace?
Getting there.
41 days away from his birthday.
Yeah, but he was dead most of the time.
No, he's just sleeping.
Yeah. So, grab it. Okay.
Corbin would like to try to slip away and go put some crushed garlic on the guy's plate, Bloodhaven's plate.
Okay. So there's people there. They are kind of talking amongst themselves, not really fully paying attention to the dinner table. Give us a side hand, DC 11.
Come on, baby, don't fail me now.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
just barely.
Very nonchalantly, whistling a little bit.
Yeah.
Kind of mix it into his food.
Okay. So Gravik, when he comes up to you, he shakes your hand. You see how what he looks like. He has a surprisingly strong grip, and he says, "Volker Bloodhaven, and you are Gravik Thorn, I believe."
Yes, that is correct, Lord. My name is Gravik Thorn, your humble bard wizard.
And whereabouts are you from? I know you're not from here, so whereabouts are you?
He kind of like glances away for a second, trying to think of a quick answer, but just decides, I'm actually from Faerun.
Oh, I've heard of that place. There's
And I have... Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
There's a land there called Thay, is there not?
Yeah. Yes, there is.
Ah.
But I've also heard of where you come from, I believe. Barovia, correct?
And he looks at you kind of surprised, and that is correct.
How is Lord Strahd?
You mean Lord Canchelsis?
Oh, I'm sorry. I must have read it wrong in that book.
Ah, Lord Strahd. I don't think I know that name.
I just must have been a mistranslation.
Yes, it must have been.
Yes. He's like looks down at his hand, probably still clasped in his.
Yes.
Um. So what brought you to this wonderful, strange land?
Oh, I was traveling and wanted to, see this world, and I happened upon lovely Honora there. She was pretending to be somebody else named Casey, and one thing led to another, and she stole my heart. What can I say?
Uh, from what I've seen, she seems quite smitten by you as well. I wish you the best in a happy, long marriage.
Yes, it'll be quite long, I hope.
Yes, I'm sure it will. He's gonna try and like pull his hand away.
He does not let go.
He doesn't fight it. He just, as he realizes that he's not gonna let it go of his hand, he just immediately stops, trying to pull away. Is there anything else I can do for you, my lord?
Oh no, it's okay. I'm just glad to meet others from other lands.
Yes,
Maybe we could have a bite sometime.
yes, I'd appreciate that. It'd be wonderful to have a dinner with you, my lord.
Yes, we can grab a bite to eat and discuss our land some more.
Yes, I'd appreciate that. I'd actually rather enjoy that. It's been quite try. What's the best word to describe it? Uh, can't think of anything right now. It's been quite a trial being here with so many strange people not knowing of so many common things from our lands.
Yes, there's lots from our lands that they don't know around here. But maybe one
Yeah,
day we can expand their knowledge, if you will.
I've been trying to do that, but they are quite the stubborn bunch, and he's got to kind of glance in Amitrus's direction.
Yes, some of these uh, people around here are somewhat archaic, but it's okay.
As he
Yes,
says that, Corbin will re-enter the scene and pat him very hard, strongly on the back, and say, "Ah, oh, I'm so glad that Pythor is such a batty fellow. I'm glad this party doesn't suck."
And
Now wink at
Bloodhaven will
Gravis.
laugh.
Ramik will like look at Corbin like he's his hero, like just briefly, hoping that Lord Bluehaven doesn't notice.
And Bloodhaven will say, "Well, I will get back to my betrothed, and we wish you well on your quest."
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it, and I wish you a happy and long marriage as before.
Thank you. I hope it is quite long as well. And he will walk away.
As he's walking away, I'll kind of loudly say, "He's not much of a pain in the neck."
Ramik's just gonna fall into his chair, looking exhausted. He's gonna look over at Corbin and just mouth, "Thank you."
Oh, welcome, Gravik. We should play some music
Arcadia.
later.
Arcadia will look at Gravik and say, "Well, it seems like he's friendly towards you, so that's good. You can keep a close eye on him and build off of that relationship."
He's just gonna look over at Arcadia like she just asked him to do the impossible.
Meanwhile, Corbin's paying attention to see if Bluehaven eats his food.
Yeah, so he does go. He goes back a few moments later, and he will stir his food around and look at it quizzically for a moment, but then he will take a bite, and he will his eyes will kind of grow big, and he'll swallow it, but then grab a glass of water and drink it. And
I think you might be right.
Maybe he doesn't like garlic.
That's gonna keep him on the can all night.
It's White Castle.
Corbin, I appreciate your enthusiasm. I don't know how effective that's going to be, but I like your spirit.
You said they didn't like garlic, so I put it in there.
I said that I didn't know if that was more of a myth or not, but
Well, I didn't wash my
appreciate
hands
you-
either, so that couldn't help him either.
Oh God.
I appreciate you testing it, though.
Oh my God. In Arcadia, a younger middle-aged man will come up to Arcadia and will ask if he could have the first dance later today. Because he heard he heard.
Do I recognize him?
You do not. But he says that he was enthralled with your singing last night.
I'm sorry, but she already promised me for her first dance for the evening, gentlemen.
And he looks at you and he looks you up and down. You, Patchy Beard?
He just like kind of deflates a little. It's coming in. It's gonna take a little while. But
But-
yes, I am.
Why
Go
don't you dance with a real man?
I'm trying to be as
Arcadia
polite here as
looks at him
possible.
and she's. Go ahead.
No, you go ahead.
Arcadia looks at him and she says, "I don't dance with men."
That's not what we did last night, but okay, if you say so. And he will walk away. Bloody Amazons.
Does Corbin hear this?
Yes.
I will.
trying to hide
I will step in right before he walks away and he goes, "That's okay. I dance with you." And I grab him and I will try to grapple him and dance at the same time, so he can't get away.
He looks at you with surprise, and then he looks over at the Oracle, and she does not appear to be paying attention. So then he'll look at you with a slight smile,
I will still dance with him.
and he will not put up a fight at all.
Mm.
Kind of looks confused by this display, but Kid is doing his best to hold back a laugh.
And Corbin, give me while you're dancing, give me a perception.
Not very
Oh
good.
no!
No, even that low. You see the Oracle glaring daggers at that man.
I will quickly make my apologies then and leave and go sit next to her obediently.
Okay, and he man walks away confused, but he seems happy.
And you might have. It's a high DC, I would say, but you might actually see Arcadia suppressing a very small smile when she sees what Corbin does.
Oh, hang on, let's do this then. Bam, 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 bam.
As she looks down into her plate.
20. Bam. Let's see.
Corbin's too busy dancing.
You see shit.
I don't see shit.
That would be funny though. And the Oracle looks over at Corbin when you sit down and say, "Did you have fun?"
Just helping out a friend.
Don't do that again.
Yes, dear.
Now, go get me a drink.
I'll go get her a drink. And while I'm at the punch bowl getting the drink, I'm gonna try and spike it with some garlic.
my god.
Oh no, for everybody at the place.
For everyone. Okay. Oh, that's gonna taste like shit then. Sleight of hand, as there's people around this water cooler. Oh yeah, easy. You can get two thin clothes in there.
Corbin, the food poisoners at work.
Apparently, Scathia. It's like Corbin's more of a rogue today than a rogue. All right. Yeah. So if people will come by, get drinks, and then take a drink and spit it out and set it on the table and walk away.
Does Blue Haven get a drink?
He does not.
Oh.
After he saw everyone spitting theirs out, he turned to his flask.
See what Corbin is doing, basically spiking everything with garlic.
Perception DC at 20.
I'm very stealthy. I did tell you I put it in his food, though. Holy shit!
Shit, yeah.
Wow.
He does see it.
Havoc just, at this point, just like sighs heavily and covers his, like, palms his face, just like, I've created a monster.
Alright, if we have nothing else, we can get to the next day.
Good.
Alright, so, bada bing, bada boom, we're all sleeping. We wake up. Let's make sure we have that done. So when you all wake up and maybe kind of head down, you see a constable downstairs, and he's questioning one of the servants.
What's he questioning about?
That somebody was murdered last night, and somebody at this party was murdered last night, and they're just trying to get the timeline.
I will look at graphic accusingly.
Pay attention a moment to... Oh,
This man
sorry, go
said
ahead,
his
Corbin.
This man said his jokes would kill.
But it takes, like, Gravik is like serious face, just like, oh, how could this happen during the and then he's like slowly turns over to look at the group and sees Demetrius's accusing glares, like, what? You think I did it?
I think you're a likely suspect.
Why would I be the likely suspect?
You're a stranger from a strange land that no one knows anything about.
So I come here and kill someone during a wedding reception, or
maybe you're an assassin and your entire story is a fabrication.
I think I'm getting a little paranoid.
Who was it that died?
Arcadia would say the Oracle gave him the green light, so...
And Amiches will grudgingly admit that point and scoff.
But then she turns to Corbin and who was killed?
It was a big burly man with a nice bushy beard. They give the name, but you do not recognize it. And then they give the description, and it is the description of the man that Corbin was dancing with last night and tried to get Arcadia to dance with.
Oh. And she looks at Corbin, she goes, Mercy wouldn't do something like that, would she? I mean, how jealous does she get?
And this man's throat was slit ear to ear.
Oof.
As Gravik sees this and hears this, he's gonna like take 3 paces away from Corbin just to be on the safe side, just in case, the Oracle is around to see him being a little too close.
I'll say to Corbin, maybe you should Wear that chastity belt after all, not for yourself, but to protect those around you.
No, this wasn't the Oracle. She's much more gruesome than that.
Fine, well, it sounds like it's not our business. Let's not get involved.
Are they trying to keep it a secret, or is it just everybody's running around?
Oh, people are walking around talking about it. But,
I want to find out, where the carriage is that's going to take them away and where they're going to be sleeping at night.
take
After
them
the
away.
wedding.
Oh, okay. It is the carriage is outside. It's a nice, long black carriage with white painted "Just Married" and like cans at the back, and then there are two massive black horses finely decked out.
Anybody guarding it?
No, because they're in the palace.
I'm going to set out tying garlic cloves all over it.
All right, give us
Oh my God.
Jesus Christ, give us sleight of hand to see how well these are tied on.
Mm-hmm. I'm also
So is
going to
Dragon.
No, that's not very good.
It's not very good. You know that you have tied better knots.
Then I will also take some silverware and put it where stuff it into the cushions where they'll touch it by accident if they're sitting on it.
Well, he was using silver
Rabbit-
last night.
I don't know. I'm going to do it anyway.
Fair enough.
Does Gravik see this?
I wasn't very stealthy. So.
Yeah, he wasn't very stealthy about it.
God damn it.
I will walk over to Corbin and I'll ask him, what the hell are you doing?
Gravik said this would bother him.
I already did the whole sense thing on him. He's not a vampire.
No, well, just in case.
Just in case.
Stop randomly fucking with this guy. You're just going to start trouble.
Besides, you're supposed to mess with their carriage at the wedding, aren't you?
And I will look at Corbin and say, hey, that's a good point. And I will walk up to the side of the carriage and I will piss against it. Against the wheel.
And the horse, when you're doing that, will one of the horses will kind of move the cart a little bit, and will neigh at you.
I'll say, come on, it's tradition.
And will neigh at you again.
I
will
will submit
stand-
to the will of this horse and I will use the cart alone.
Rick will stand next to Arcadia just watching this and just kind of looks over at her like he wants to say something, but just doesn't seem to be able to find the words and just watches the scene again.
You see her just looking and slightly shaking her head.
And at this moment, Percy will come out with a cup of tea, and she looks very radiant today.
Corbin will give her a wink.
And she will look at you slyly and smile. And we'll sip her tea.
I will, and I'm also looking for where are they gonna stay after the wedding? Or are they leaving town?
You'd have to, yeah, they're going to be leaving town.
They're not staying the one night?
No.
It's too bad.
Go to their honeymoon.
Corbin was going to try to be on top of the canopy.
Oh, God. Throw some garlic down on top of them.
Exactly.
And so, once you're doing that, Percy will come over to the party and say, "Did you hear there was a murder last night?
Murder?
Very shocking."
So, yeah, did they ever, what was the body like? How were they killed?
No, supposedly this man's throat was slit ear to ear, and I don't know why.
Was he missing any blood?
No, there was blood everywhere. I guess he pissed somebody off last night.
Yeah.
Oh well, and she'll sip her tea and walk away.
I'll look at Corbin accusingly.
Hey, Arcadia was more angry with him than me.
Verzi definitely killed this guy.
I don't think so.
But yeah. Then now it's pretty much time for the wedding and the coronation right after. So unless anyone's going to try and stop that, we can just go through that.
Nope.
Okay. And they'll say it's time to get ready, that the wedding starts in 1 hour, and one of the servants will come rushing, like it's a female servant, comes rushing for Arcadia and says that Honora demands your presence right now.
She sighs and follows her.
Women. And she's sitting in her chambers, in her dress, sitting on the floor, crying.
And she goes to her and she says, "What's wrong?"
I don't know if I can do this. It's so much. There's so much to take in. Please tell me everything's going to be fine.
And Arcadius asks her, "What do you have second thoughts about?"
Everything. Them getting married, getting crowned queen, everything's changing so much, and there's a lot of change.
She says, "There's no rush to do either. If you want to give yourself some time, you can."
I should look at you. But everything's all paid for and everything's all done and set up, and I feel like I'd be letting everyone down. And what if I'm not a good wife? What if I'm not a good queen? What if I'm not a good mother? And then she'll close or throw her hand up to her mouth really quick when she says that.
And she says, she puts her hand up to her mouth after she says, "What if she's not a good mother?"
Correct.
Arcadia kneels down and puts her hand on her shoulder. She says, Are you pregnant?"
And she looks at you for a second and then starts crying even more. Yes. Tell me everything will be fine.
And Arcadia says, "You'll be okay because you are strong enough for this. But you should not feel obligated to do anything you don't want to do. If you feel this is not right for you, then don't do it.
And Demetrius
The only person you
appears in the
can
doorway.
count on is yourself."
And Demetrius is not there.
Oh, okay.
And she says, "The only person you can count on is yourself."
And she'll nod and say, "I understand. I mean, I want to do all this. I just don't know if I'll be good at it."
You'll be fine. But you should only do this if you want to do this.
I do. You really think I'll make a good queen?
And she said, "Yes, you are young. I would surround yourself with people you trust and who are, who can guide you."
Like you?
And she says, "I'm not that much older than you, and I won't be here a lot, but I will help you when I can."
And she starts crying and will give you a big ass hug and say thank you.
And you see Arcadia, her arms are kind of out to the side, and then she will give her a hug back.
Aww. The ice is melting. The cold never bothered me anyways. And she will thank you so much. And then she'll stand up and straighten herself out and say, "Now, will you please help me get ready?" And you're not wearing that, are you? That's a celebration. You gotta wear something else.
Arcadia sighs and says, "What are you thinking?"
And her eyes will go big. Really? And she'll run over to the closet and throw it open and say, "Pick any of these. They're all altered to your measurements."
Oh, great. Arcadia sighs, and she would pick the least frilly, least lacy, least ostentatious dress.
Okay. And Honora says, "This one? I thought you would pick this one."
And what does it look like?
It's black.
It's black?
Yeah, it's a black dress. And it's like it doesn't go above your knees. And it's strapless.
I mean, it's nice, right? It's not they don't wear white, like, she's not going to stick out like she's at a funeral, is she?
No, it's a nice black.
All right. So she says to Honora, "Here, let me get you ready first."
And she'll say, "Wait, you gotta have this," and we'll throw you a blue shawl.
Throw me a what?
A blue shawl.
A blue shawl?
Yes. I think that's what they're called. That goes around his shoulders. Yeah. And she's like, "Now, will you help me? Will you help me with my train?"
So she'll help her.
Perfect. And she'll say, "So what's the tea on you and Demetrius?"
And she says, "Tea? What does that mean?"
Well, you guys are, you've been traveling with each other for quite a while, and you guys seem pretty close. And maybe I was just wondering if it's a little bit closer than I think.
And she says, "No."
And she'll say, "Okay," and give you a wink. Anyway, so go to the boys. The people are the bells are starting to go off. Make sure you guys come in and sit. And so like the cathedral start getting filled up, and your seats are towards the front. And then Honora will tell Arcadia that she'll see you out there, and the boys will see Arcadia coming down wearing a dress.
Did the wedding planner keep an account of Demetrius' centaur stature?
She did.
It's a
Wait,
big
what was the
standing
question?
place
I'm
with,
sorry,
like,
Dan.
Keeping
if they,
Say, Dan, I'm sorry, I missed.
if they kept into account that Demetrius is a centaur.
Oh, yeah.
They did, yes. Your seat is off, is off to the side. Oh, not your seat, but your area.
Corbin nudges him in the side and says, "Look, you've got your own groom."
And I'll just sit down there.
And so you see, I don't think of anybody's, well, certainly no one has ever seen this. So you see slipping around the side and not down the center aisle, but you actually see Arcadia walk out, and she is wearing a dress and the blue shawl, and she takes her seat.
They'd probably say, "Not a word."
Yeah, exactly. She looks around.
Havoc looks uncomfortable, but he just kind of like eventually like looks over at Katie like, "You look lovely."
Yeah, she kind of makes a embarrassed looking nod and looks straight ahead at Honora, or where the wedding party will be.
I'm assuming the other boys are probably just too gobsmacked to speak.
Corbin nods approvingly. I've been trying to get her to wear a kit for a while.
And
Told you, Arcadia, you can still move in that dress, right?
Demetrius looks like he doesn't really care. Oh yeah, nice dress.
Alright, and then the wedding bells happen. Everyone was singing, you know, Pythor walks Nora down the aisle, Blue Haven's there, and Fargrim is the officiant for this wedding. And he goes through the whole thing and says, "Now, is there anyone here who wishes to stop this wedding? Speak now or forever hold your peace." And Pythor looks around, glaring at everyone. Are any of you trying to stop this?
Take a make cue from Arcadia.
Okay. And he says, "Well, with the power invested in me and this staff and, well, the five gods, I now pronounce you husband and wife, and then may kiss your woman, your bride." Good Parker. And yay, cheers.
Corbin hands out a bunch of packages that looks like rice, but it's really mixed with chopped garlic.
Jesus Christ. and people are like, "What is that smell?" And then they look at Demetrius accusingly.
Demetrius will frown because he smells like a dandy, like super perfumed.
Smell like horse sweat.
It smell like horse sweat. Make sure grab a scrape it off you later tonight.
What the fuck?
And then bada bing bada boom, now we go to the coronation and it's even bigger. You know, now the whole land is kinda out, like lining the streets, and Pythor does his speech and he's very sober today. And he does a crying, you know, "It's my daughter, and I give it up, and I know she'll make a good queen, and Bloodhaven here will make a fine king in waiting." Bada bing, bada boom. Now she's queen. I don't know, like I didn't have a whole thing written up for that. And now, yeah. I think that'll do. There's another feast tonight. I'm assuming there is no duck garlic because somebody might have stolen it all.
A waste.
There's a shortage in the town.
It is a shortage of garlic in the town. And yeah, I think unless you guys have something you're wanting to do with this wedding / dinner coronation feast, I think I can wrap that up. Outside of garlic, of course.
Did my best.
But it didn't.
Garlic appear. Yeah, well, I don't know. I didn't check. I'm going to the bathroom at night.
He also used silverware. He wasn't affected by garlic, and he didn't register as an undead. So.
Disgusts me, or Gravik's full of shit. Or maybe there's something else at bay. But I
Only
Yeah, so I
we
guess
had a cleric in the party.
yeah, for a lot of reasons. So I guess we plan on sitting out in the morning on the Ultros.
Okay.
I forgot, where were we gonna go?
The Island of the Fates.
Why are we going there?
For
Because we all
various
have
reasons.
questions that will be answered there.
Oh,
All right. You want to skip to the Ultros really quick?
Yep.
All right, and then I'll say this. I'll say
so
this.
Corbin would like to have some words with the Oracle about things that he can't talk to the others about.
Okay.
I'll do that offline.
Yeah, some important things you can message me. So, yeah, y'all head out. Everyone thanks you, for everything. People are following you out, asking for autographs. Yada. You get to the Ultros, and once you board the Ultros, Kyra's already there. The tieflings are there. The workers are there. And when Gravix, so Gravik, actually, I think I have a picture of this Ultros because I don't think you've ever actually seen it. Let me find it. Apologize. This is what it looks like. It's huge.
He approaches this giant boat. It looks like he doesn't actually think it belongs to the group. He's like, starts looking around for another, like, smaller, decrepit looking thing. Where's your ship?
What do you mean?
I mean, where is it? Is it at the end of the dock?
I will put my hands on either side of Graphic's head and I will tilt it towards the Ultros.
He'll look a little surprised at first when Demetrius grabs his head, but as he points him towards the ship, he just, like, his jaw drops and just, like, kind of, like, tries to look at Demetrius and just, like, no.
Yes.
How can it? What?
What part of famous heroes don't you understand? We won the great games.
Honestly-
We just had a banquet with gods. And this is what you don't believe?
You just didn't think this group would be able to maintain a ship of this magnitude.
What? With our meager 25,000 gold winnings?
Well, I mean, I assumed that you would just crash it into the nearest reef.
If you must know, I am actually the captain of the Ultras.
Again, how have you not crashed it into a reef?
Because we have a good crew.
Oh, okay, see, so that's... Oh, I get it now.
And it's also a magic ship that can traverse enormous distances in short amounts of time.
Well, permission to come aboard?
And I'll say, sure, come on.
And he will wait for Demetrius to let go of him, and then he will follow him up onto ship.
Yes.
Alright.
Demetrius will use his rope of climbing to steer himself onto the ship like, a horse being towed aboard.
Yeah, getting hoisted up.
Yes, exactly.
Cool. So, Gravik, as soon as you step foot on the ship, you get extremely cold. And you hear, the whole party hears, what in the fuck is this piece of shit doing on my ship? And this guy appears.
Oh god, not him
Oh
again.
no!
Is this one of the crew members?
And that's where we'll pick it up next week.
Holy crap! Oh no!
That is Estor Arkenlander.
The guy who almost killed all of you. By himself.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
he just said it was his ship, so I don't think he's coming.
Alright. Corbin in there.
I think Gravik just thinks he met the quartermaster.
Yeah, it's just ghost just appears right in front of you. But cool. That all did. Dun, dun, dun.
Wow.
Yeah.
Kill that guy
Good
again.
session, guys. But I'm gonna need to pop off real quick. I
Same.
gotta
Dinner's
I
about
gotta check
ready.
out.
Yeah, you gotta
Yeah.
drive back to
Yeah.
Canadian land.
See you guys
another
next week.
9.
Alright, yeah.
Yeah.
Bye, Dan.
Bye.
Hey, can you
He just
throw
wants to
us a
play
long
Baldur's
rest?
Gate. I did.
Oh, you did. Oh, thanks. Never mind. See that. Thank you.
Thanks for the session, guys. Have a good one.
Yeah,
Dude, your trip back.
Yeah, let us know when you get back to Sully.
Yeah, should be another 9 hours.
It's okay. A boot.
What,
Yeah,
before you get
it's
out of
not that-
Texas?
What was that?
Before you drive out of Texas?
No, I'm already well out of Texas.
Oh.
Like Massachusetts.
I'll see you
or some
guys.
shit.
Yeah. But
Alright.
have a good one, guys.
Drive safe. All right. Anyway, stream. Yeah, we'll end here. Thanks for hanging out, and we got some shit going on next week, maybe, and we'll see you then, and maybe sometime later today or this week I'll stream some Final Fantasy 14. Who knows? Anyways, take care. Goodbye. See ya.